Trump politics and how government diminishes energy. Sex Magic Podcast. Let's get it, baby. Shanti, shalom, shalom, Shanti. Peace, everybody. It's your host, Emmanuel, joining you once again. Sex Magic Podcast. Expanding energy here, helping you achieve states of oneness and self and sex and life, increasing this energy field. And right now, we're recognizing things in the energy field that has and can put a damper on our energy. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about politics. The government trap, essentially, and how it impacts our energy field. I'm going to talk about a few ways we're going to get into this, and then we're going to go straight into solutions, straight into mindsets and things that y'all can take away from this so that you guys can protect yourself. So let's just start with the government trap. What is the government trap? We're really going to be hitting two traps today, actually. We're going to be hitting the government trap and then the confirmation bias trap, and those two traps really can put a damper on our energy, right? So first trap is the government trap. The government trap, and we're in the government trap when we believe that government and legislation is going to save us, is really going to create a way better life experience that is going to take us to the next level. First and foremost, let me just tell you guys who this is not for. This is not for people who have experienced, let's say, certain if somebody has a certain injustice that speaks directly to them, if you're really about, let's just say, the whales, the blind, you're really led to something. This is not really for you. You're not in the government trap if you really wholeheartedly believe in a cause and believe in something. You're not necessarily in the trap. You're in the trap when you start following the masses, for instance, when everybody around you is trying to be woke about the same thing, and you're putting the pedal to the metal, going to all the marches, really because everybody else is doing it, right? That's part of the government trap, but really it's this belief that the politician, it doesn't matter who this politician is, that this savior figure is really going to save your life. Or if you just get this one piece of legislation in, it's going to fix everything. Let's just be abundantly clear. Like, can anybody name any burning issue in the last 25 years or so that has ever really been changed? For real, like all of it. We can talk about gun control, healthcare, all these things, like, they don't end. You fight so much and you struggle so much, and what you realize is it doesn't end. Yes, guys, I'm not holding back. Some of y'all might disagree, and y'all can click the thumbs down. I don't care. We're talking about energy here, okay? And how much energy we place into, like, these social causes that really are never ending. Even if we solved every problem in America, or Black America, or Irish America, or Asian America, or, the thing is, we'll find some other problem to give our energy to, which really distracts us from our own inner work, which distracts us from doing the things that we need to do to go from victim consciousness to creator consciousness, right? So that's the higher element of it. Now, like I said, if you really are pulled organically to a situation, like I'm, really getting into this concept of UBI, for instance, but that's just me, right? You got to discern that. But if you're in the government trap, if you believe that some person is going to save you outside of you, no, guys, that's not it. It really just perpetuates this victim consciousness. It perpetuates this idea that there's some person outside of you that's creating your reality, that you're not responsible. And the truth of the matter is, because I'm going to tell it to you straight, the deeper that you get into this path, the more accountable you are for your worldview, for the actions you have, for where you place your energy. And the thing is, the social justice stuff kind of keeps you in the matrix, on the wheel, distracted from doing the hard work. Trust me, it's way, 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 way not only more effective to do the inner work on yourself to become a higher vessel of love, light, and positivity than it is to march, okay? Believe it or not, you'll be raising the planet's vibration, not ebbing and flowing at the vibration that it already is. So if you guys see that there's a certain person within, government that you don't really vibe with, first of all, we got to take accountability that we created this. Like, this person is here because there's a part of us, and maybe the self that we don't want to recognize, our shadow self, that does identify with these person's values. But more so than that, we got to realize that a lot of the social change that we seek, we're ebbing and flowing at the same level of those that we claim is evil, or we claim doesn't have the country's or the world's best intentions on. A lot of us are not really acting out of love. We're acting out of the same consciousness level. And whenever we're walking and acting out of the same consciousness level, we're going to reinscribe and recreate the same energy that was there prior to us being there, okay? Now, the opposite of this victim consciousness is creator consciousness. And that's where we want to be. We want to be in a situation where we have control over the reality and the things that we experience in our lives. That if we don't like something, we can create a layer of our world that insulates us from the global issues. More on this later, the difference between a worldview and a globe view, and changing the world versus changing the globe. You can change your world relatively easy, but changing the globe can be a rat race. I'm going to tell you why. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about the confirmation bias trap. The confirmation bias trap is when you're so ingrained into a line of thinking, you think that your opinion is so right that you just try to find evidence to support it. And what ends up happening is that you believe very, very strongly and very rigidly that a person that holds an opposing view to you is like really, really wrong. So we do this whenever, and this is a difficult thing to really work through. But we're in the confirmation bias trap where we have a certain view, right? Politics, spirituality, whatever it is, and we believe that we are so right that we're going to go out, and whatever our position is, we're going to go and find all the supporting evidence to support that. We don't really know how complex these issues are. It can be from Trump to Christianity to, anything. We can develop a confirmation bias in and only really look at our side of the equation and only look at evidence that supports our side of the equation, which makes us believe that we are intellectually superior to another side of the equation. And what that does, it breeds a culture of intolerance. It breeds a culture of division. It breeds a culture of separation, when honestly they're only opinions, right? Like a politician, for instance, or certain, let's just say, theological traditions and denominations. These are people's opinions about which either political ideology, theological ideology, or framework is going to be most expansive, most helpful, most beneficial for society or the people or the culture's overall goal. And so they're theories, y'all. Everybody has a theory. And you may not vibe or resonate with somebody's theory, but we got to recognize that it is intellectually troublesome for us to believe that we see the whole picture. No, the picture is really big. The picture has multi-layers, okay? And so what the confirmation bias does, again, if we believe, that we're very, very, very right in something, and all other possibilities that are not our own are the devil or the enemy or something like that, it breeds intolerance. And what does intolerance do? It takes us off the path of loving one another, to seeing the union between our ideas, to see the common bond and the common purpose that we have for a new day, a new tomorrow, a better society, a better world, and human beings being more unified together, okay? So it's a confirmation bias trap, you guys. So think about something you have a very strong opinion in, right? Politics and religion are always probably the easiest ones to recognize that in, and think about what the other side looks like. Take an honest assessment of it for instance. And you'll realize maybe where you may be carrying your own confirmation bias. And I challenge you to surrender the idea that you know. You don't know, you believe. Right? Belief is inductive, knowing is abductive. Let me say this again. Belief is inductive, meaning it's your opinion. It's based upon you gathering up evidence, like in a court case, but it hasn't technically been, it's not known, it's not 100%. There is room for doubt. Because there's room for doubt, you believe. Knowing is based upon experiential receiving of information. Experiential confirmation of the claim that you're making. Right? So most of us don't know anything. So we have to surrender that, because when we think that we know, and we think that we know something that's actually really inductive, it gives us this grandiose intellectual stance that suggests that we're right and anybody who deviates from our point of view is wrong. And once again, what that breeds is tension, division, separation, intolerance. And that really is not creating the world that we want to create. Not only the world, but the globe. Right? So that's part of the government and confirmation bias trap. Now, where are we going? How do we transmute this? How do we change this? First and foremost, we got to understand that we have to hold ourselves accountable for our energy, right? So looking at politics, putting our faith in a politician, looking at YouTube or the news and what's going on politically, have y'all ever tuned in to how that makes you feel? How the government makes you feel? Does it ever make you feel happy? For some of you, it might, because your soul radiates towards that. But a lot of us, we watch the news, we do these things, it diminishes our energy. So we have to be mindful of that, okay? And be accountable for our energy, because when we're accountable, we don't make excuses. When we're accountable, we're resting in creator consciousness. When we're accountable, we can really create the world that we would like to experience. So let me talk about this for a second before we wrap up. So we're going to take a break and be right back after commercial, and we'll get into the last part of this episode. All right. Hey y'all, just a short little intermission. If you've received some value from this video, go hit the like button. If it's your first time here, go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section. I'll definitely send you an introductory message. Just say, I've subscribed, and I'm going to personally welcome you to the channel. Also, if you're a return listener, hey, what's up? You're an ascender. You are the MVP of this channel. And yeah, y'all, just wanted to tell y'all that. So let's get back to the message. All right, so we're back. And here's the last part of this. I took a break way late this time. But we're going to talk about the worldview and the globe view, okay? The worldview, your worldview, I would suggest really creates your reality. We have a lot of books, The Secret, a lot of things on a lot of attraction and creating a reality. And they talk about your thoughts, and your thoughts are definitely a part of it. But one of the things that I've realized within my own experience is that my worldview, what I hold in the deepest parts of my subconscious, is actually what is creating my worldview. Is actually what's creating my world. And my world, my layer of the world, I think is right. Just like how you see the world is right. How I see the world is right. Of course, if you go back to the episode on identity trap, you realize don't impose on another person's worldview, but understand that their worldview is their worldview, and their worldview is mutable and can change way easier than trying to change the globe. Okay? So if you want peace in your world, if you want a safe world, if you want an abundant world, if you want a world where your needs are taken care of, you can create that through your intention and through your energy. For sure. You want world peace? You can have it. Globe peace? That's a little bigger of a thing. Okay, so I want to tell y'all that once you start taking on this creator consciousness, once you start taking on the accountability, once you start taking on the fact that everything is mutable, because there is a lifeline for anything that you want in the universe. You just have to attune to it and see it. There is a world in which your life is just living in harmony, that's living in bliss, that doesn't have to frantically run around and toil and do a lot of these things that we do. That there's an easier way. And so you can create the layer of your world, right? And in the creating the layer of your world, you realize that your world is best served when you are doing things that is in harmony and alignment with your soul. And harmony and alignment of your soul, right, is going to bring you automatically more fulfillment. And when you have more fulfillment, you have more inspiration. When you have more inspiration, you have more joy. And when you have more joy, you can evoke that out and express it and have people see your light that you're carrying. And that light is contagious. And then you can ask them, or they can ask you, like, how did you do that? And you can tell them that it started within. And because of everything that you've done, that you're now ebbing and flowing in a state of peace, in a state of harmony, in a state of joy that is just magnificent. And that's completely you. That you didn't really have to change yourself. Rather, you just had to unlearn and unwind the conditioning that you had so that you can connect with who you truly are, what you truly came here to be. And that, my friends, is social justice. That, my friends, is raising the consciousness. That, my friend, is real mastery and real power over really the world. Because you're inspiring others to do the same. You're inspiring others to stop distracting themselves, chasing after things that are not themselves, chasing after causes that really don't even care about them. Have y'all ever seen how easily anybody that, let's just say, they put a lot of money or time or effort into an organization, a nonprofit, a certain group, as soon as that person, let's say, messes up, says something that the organization doesn't politically or theologically agree with, that they would throw them out? Isn't that interesting? How replaceable some people are? Well, here's the thing. In your field, you can just be yourself. Love is asking you right now just to be yourself. Love is asking you to unlearn and to unwind and just be. That you don't have to save the globe. You don't even have to save your world. You don't have to save it. You just express it. You express your world. So what is the world you want to create? What is the world that you want to live in? That is power. Because you become a culture shifter. You become a culture changer. You become a culture king or queen. You get to lay the foundational ideology of what your world and what everything looks like. And how cool is that? Versus the globe view that's dealing with the government trap and the confirmation bias trap, where things are so out of your control. Not only that, but even if we solved every problem in America, then what? We'd probably try to find some issue somewhere else. And it's a rat race, y'all. And it can really disrupt our energy and cause a whole bunch of feelings of hatred and vitriol and and animosity. What kind of level is animosity towards anybody? I don't care if they're the most irredeemable person in your opinion. Why would you give that person your energy ever? No, redirect, meditate, focus, concentrate. That's all you got to do. So, y'all, just keep in mind, remember, the government trap is when we give our power to a politician that we believe that government or saving the burning issue or something like that is going to lead to our freedom, lead to our power, lead to our expansion. When in actuality, giving our power over to some person outside of us, it just keeps us locked into the victim consciousness, okay? Where we're really intending to go to creator consciousness. Part 2, and trap 2, is confirmation bias. So confirmation bias is a logical fallacy, like I said, where We believe that we're right, and we're so rigid in that belief that it can create levels of intolerance, of separation between people, in which we're all kind of trying to going after the same goal in a sense. Okay, we all want more peace and harmony, and to be creators of our reality, and because of that, you can create your reality in your worldview, not your globe view. So focus on your worldview, y'all. Think about the life and the world and the culture that you want to create, and start living that out, and start intending it, and start visualizing it and daydreaming about it. And it will be. And so it is. And so I got to let y'all go. Till next time, we're up in time. Yeah, Sex Magic Podcast, Trump, politics, and how government diminishes energy. Peace!